Now let's talk PICO. I wish it was Pico de Gallo, but this is the medical term of how to talk about PICO and formulating PICO questions. So the PICO formula is the one that you've talked about in class that talks about patient population or problem for the P, intervention or exposure for the I, the comparison for the C, and the outcome for the O. I passed out a sheet in class. If not, you can always print out the slide on how to formulate a PICO search so that you can place it inside the EBSCO research database and be successful with your search. You cannot type in a whole situation or the PICO question and have that EBSCO research database understand it. It just isn't smart enough to do that. Maybe someday AI will catch up with it, but right now we need to learn how to break it down. So this is a tool that I found that kind of breaks it down into the P, I, C, O columns. And in each column, you can add up several terms for each one. And what they have in between the slots are some of these Boolean operators, which are the terms or, and then at the top, it also has the word and. And then you will also see that they will list the search strategy formula down in the lower rectangle, where they're saying put all the P's together. You put the one word, then you add the word or, then you put the next word. And then you put the word and you move over to the next column. So when you're using these Boolean operators, it helps direct the research database, that discovery service that we're using with EBSCO, on how to best find articles that are going to help answer your PICO. So here's a little slide that talks about Boolean operators. And when you're using the term and, it limits the results that you get. So you'll see here's a sample of, like, if you searched video games, you would get this big turnout, 18,000 plus items come up. But if you add the word and teenagers, it's looking for both terms. Those terms are required, and you get down to 547. On the next column, you'll see it has the word or, and that's one that uses to expand terms. So you can say, I want articles that talk about teenagers, you get 105,000. But if you're like, oh, maybe I want one with teenagers or adolescents, you get 230,000. So you double what you're looking for because it's looking for both teenagers or adolescents. And that's what happens with these. So these help expand. And then when you add the ands, it limits it just a bit. So because you're looking for all of those different areas. On the next slide, it talks about let's practice PICO. So what we're going to do is, if we look at this first entry, and it says you are working with a recent stroke patient who is having balance issues, and you are considering using virtual reality in their therapy. From this particular situation, we want to write down what the PICO is. The P is going to stand for a recent stroke and balance issues. The I is going to talk about adding virtual reality in their therapy. The comparison in the C is going to be no virtual reality. And the O is going to be improved balance. So your PICO question would be, in recent stroke patients, how does using virtual reality affect or improve balance? When we put it in the chart, you will see that the P's will sit like this. You can put recent stroke and balance issues. The I will be the virtual reality. The C will be no virtual reality, and improved balance will be on the right. Now, when we want to write it up into the search strategy formula, it'll look more like this. You can write it with balance issues, add the word or, and recent strokes. You'll see over here at the very bottom, we wrote balance issues or recent stroke, and you'll see we have those parentheses. Then we add the term and we go down to virtual reality in parentheses. We put the word and then we put no virtual reality, and then we put and improved balance. So that's how we would want to formulate our search strategy that we would plug into our research database search box. Now, is there a way that we can maybe refine it to maybe broaden results? We can always take some of the extra terms off. So if we don't want to put recent stroke, we just want to say stroke and balance, we can do that. And we can also take off the word improved before the balance and the outcome. This is going to make our search results larger because we're taking out some of those additional words. And when we plug this into the search box, you'll see that we have 38,000 items that have come up. And then it'll be our job to filter through these by setting some of our limits on the left and find what we're looking for. But before we talk about the limiters, let's try PICO one more time. So here's another PICO. You have a patient who has difficulty exercising due to COPD, and you wonder if pursed lip breathing techniques may improve their endurance. When we set out the different areas, the P would be patients with COPD, the I would be pursed lip breathing, the C would be regular breathing, and the O would be the improved exercise endurance. Your question would be, in patients with COPD, does using pursed lip breathing as compared to regular breathing improve exercise endurance? This is what your chart would look like. You would put COPD in the first box, pursed lip breathing in the I box, regular breathing would be the comparison box, and exercise endurance at the O box. And you'll see down at the bottom, this is going to be what your search strategy formula will look like. And you can copy and paste that into the search box and get your results. You'll see right here, I have 190 results that have come up for this particular search. So as we move forward, we want to make sure that we set our limiters so that we can look at set all the filters so we can find those high-level research articles. Now here's the limiters that I recommend. The first thing that you're going to do is uncheck the full text checkbox. And you are going to set your time frame within the past 5 years. So in the left-hand column, you'll see that there is something that says full text, that this particular APTA organization, they have it pre-checked for you. Since you have rockstar librarians that can get any article for you, please uncheck that box because you don't want to leave any stone unturned. And sometimes it takes us 2 minutes to find that article. So uncheck that box. You're also going to use your time frame of the last 5 years. This project isn't due until January, so you'll probably want to put 2018 in that box. Right now I put 2017. So just change that date, type in 2018 and press enter. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to set the research level for your article. And you always want to start and try to find the highest and best level if you can. And you guys have that little pyramid graphic that's going to show you all the different levels. We're going to actually strive for getting a systematic review or a meta-analysis type article for you. So on the left-hand side, underneath the full text checkbox and the date range, there's going to be a little drop-down menu that says subject. When you click on that, it's going to pop down this particular little menu, and it's going to have 6 or 7 items that come up. At the very bottom of it, it's going to have a link that says show more. Go ahead and click on the show more link, and you're going to get a screen that looks like this. It's a little pop-up box in the middle of the page. Now, the easiest way to use this screen is these are the subject headings, or like those subjects that are kind of on the results page. So those are like the popular hashtags for all of these articles. Click on the name so we can put them in alphabetical order. And then from the alphabetical order, you're going to want to go down in the list and look for the word meta-analysis in the M's and systematic reviews in the S's. And you're going to want to check those boxes. This one I can already see there are 5 systematic reviews. I think there were 4 meta-analyses. And then I can just click update and then I'll get my full result. Now, sometimes students think if they go through all of these steps and they set these limits, that the items that come up in the end, for me it will be 9, are going to be the perfect ones and all 9 of those will work. That is just not true. Once you have those selected, I have this little bullet here that says you have to use your brain to see if they're actually answering your PICO question. They are kind of meeting the standards for what you're looking for, but you have to kind of read through them to see if they would work for you. And I believe in you, you can do it. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your librarian.